and takes the lead away from Zapatio. Then Foxfighter Abel Whittley's battling. It's Marzu just in front from Zapatio. Marzu a neck in front, edging clear the last little bit, and Marzu, the gelding's done the trick.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm in studio with Johnny Walter.
Suicide Hotline, how can I help you?
Mate, you're happy, you're up and about. Tell you what, I found someone angrier than you, Alexander Zarev. Did you give him your hat?
He thinks he's a lumberjack. He's trying to chop down the bloody the umpire's chair. He has lost the plot. He's got to get 12 months. He's got to go. He's Nick Kyrgios bloody times 10.
I think that's what DK does after a loser or a sick beat. Check in, DK.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, no, I'm a work in progress with that sort of stuff. As I'm happy to admit, I don't mind venting, but it's all part of my process. But yes, here we are down here in Nico. Big weekend coming up, Nico.
Massive weekend. I think it's a big show. Just the little off-air chats happening before the show. I reckon we're in for a big one here, brothers.
Warming up. We've warmed up very well. So yeah, no, we're primed and ready to go down here, Scooty.
It's wet and wild up here at the Gold Coast. It's just ducks and drakes.
As I said, mate, good three at the bowling alley. Everything's all right up here. We're fine. I don't know. This is nothing. You've not seen anything yet. This is just like a little bloody, not even a touch of a monsoon.
Sydney's starting to become underwater as well, so it's Chipping Norton week, and of course, as the autumn carnival just revs up in Sydney, you can just set your clock to it. It's deluges of rain, the tracks. Everyone's saying, why are you putting all the money into prize money? You should be fixing the tracks. You can just set your watch to it, and then down in Melbourne, they have to water their tracks. So everyone's talking about the bias on Twitter and whinging, and are they going to? Well, the rail's out 3 metres. You're going to water the inside of it. It's going to happen at Caulfield. Are they doing the same things as they used to do? So there's a bit of conjecture there.
I just like that South Australia looks like it's finally tipping over. Melbourne will be next, and then we won't have to worry about any of it.
And we'll just be left with what, Sydney?
Sydney, that's right. Me and PBL will be the last men standing.
Any thoughts there, boys?
Oh, he's a funny man. Well, it's good start. No, mate, it's an outdoor sport last time I checked. So, but I was just saying, we're just talking to there. But if you're from down here and you've never seen sort of torrential rain, one of those joints, they had 400 mils overnight up there. 400. Like, I'd never seen it. My missus is from Malaysia, so I'd been over there, I'd never seen rain till I've been over there and seen actual tropical downpours. It pisses down. Like, so, I can. And no, they showed the weather thing all on the news the other night, all that rain right up around the eastern seaboard. So, as Scoot said, set your clock to it. This time of year, it's going to be wet in the eastern seaboard.
135 mils they had on Wednesday. I don't know what days a day. It's Tuesday, they put up a heavy 8. 135 mils.
They always tell the truth.
They call it off after 30 usually, but they're a heavy 8 after 135. Yeah, good luck.
Well, just a quick recap of a couple of key runs from last week. Best of Bordeaux was a good run in the worst going. I thought it might have been a lawnmower run. Will it get 1,200, Walt?
Like, it wasn't a lawnmower because it didn't send itself out there. He sent it out there. I think it'll get a mile the way it went last week. I've never seen a run like it. Like, maybe there are absolute camels behind it. We'll find out. But like everyone barring up against Magic, who was out the back, did nothing, plod, waited till the race died down, then stuck its head through, compared to old mate who missed it, jammed again, back to the inside, kicked 5 in front, and it was not, reasonably as strong as Magic on the line for mine. I don't know why they're barring up over that horse when the winner did all the work.
It was a crazy weekend of racing, wasn't it?
It was good.
It had everything. It was like go-kart racing in Adelaide, and then you had the track bias, you had Animo. He looked like Halal was going to get up on the inside, and he found a way to win.
Yeah. T. Berry, best ride of his life, gets off it and said, I should have waited. I don't know what he was waiting for. Like, holy heck. But, the $1.70 charges all bloody got paid, but it was a weird day. It was a weird day. Next round is going to be interesting again. That's the good part. All these weird races are setting up for good races.
Good angles and good betting angles for guys like us. Were you going to say something, TK?
No, I just say, the Animo made people sweat. I mean, it's not that, it doesn't look that scary to me going forward. So
we had a good sweat on him last year. This
that's
weekend.
Right. That's right. You did this coming up to this weekend. This is bringing back memories for you, Nico. Got Blue Diamond weekend.
I was in the cupboard for about 6 months after that.
Oh, the great.
At least it was $8, not $1.70. And then you get all the clowns after the race. Class prevails. Use its hard.
I heard one person say that Animo was underrated. on Sky.
Oh, did his big fella look like Jabba the Hutt? Yeah. He's underrated.
Serious.
I hope he goes round to 2's on next start. That'd be great.
Oh, Pinstripe and Captivant were pretty good in the CSAs. I think it was in a lead up to Australian Guineas. Nico, any sneaky male Hitotsu, or what does the picture look like for you, Australian Guineas?
He's DK's horse, Hitotsu. You love
And
him.
you should be asking me now. You should be asking me now, Scotty. I've got a new man.
The new man.
I've got a new man. As assistant coach of the Avondale Heights under 10s, I coach little.
You got a new
I
man.
found out this year I'm coaching little Lenny Kahir. So at registration day the other day,
Oh.
Aussie turns up. Aussie turns up in the Lambo and signs Lenny up for the Red Jays. So I couldn't help but grab Aussie and said, oh, yeah, hello, Aussie, DK, blah, blah, blah. So Yonce is going good, blah, 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 this and that. And, Hitotsu first up into the Australian Guineas. He's ticking along all right, but the other horse that flashed home there on the weekend, I think it might be...
Forgot you.
oh, yeah, those blinkers might have made a difference to him. So there we go. So as I said, I can't wait. Next conversation will be Aussie. Now, tell me about Trent. I really want to know about Trent. So I've got to find this connection with Trent. So that's my next agenda. We'll have a chat about Trent.
Yeah, well, it's looks like it's going to be an open sort of Australian Guineas. Pinstripe was good. Speaking of Trent's horse, it kind of wobbled away out there in front and Pinstripe mowed it down. Forgot you ran the fastest last 200 metres of the entire meeting.
Forgot you did.
Yeah, he was just warming up there late. Captivant was strong late.
I tell you what, he will have his work cut out. I see his favourite Hitotsu, regardless. First up at a mile against those three horses, he will have his absolute work cut out to beat them home. I would have thought off that race is the perfect setup for those horses with all their fast back into that race, into the mile. I would say Hitotsu will struggle to beat.
Looks a false favourite
Yeah,
at the moment.
He does.
Purely based on height. Obviously, he's got a lot of ability, but his best win was in the Derby. Over 2,500, he's going to be 1,600 metres first up off some so-so
They've all
trials.
got to turn a foot too. Like you got to have to be. They got to get him fit. I got told at the older when the trainers get him first up at 14 and 16, they've got to have him fit, right? And that can sap the turn of foot out of their legs. So a bit more dower. And those horses, you saw how hard they sprinted on the weekend. Like they sprinted really hard. And I love that coming off that sprint home 1400 into 16. So yeah, I'd be worried about how dour he is first up.
We need the mail, though.
Hey?
Monday night, Tuesday night, footy training.
Oh, yeah,
the
the
mail.
Aussie, I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
For his
Aussie me.
stud value, you'd think he's just absolutely wound up. He's already ticked the 2,500 metre box, but for a stallion, he needs that Group 1 over 1,600 metres, so he's got that big winning range. But yeah, it's interesting with Hitotsu because he was only 3 lengths behind Captivant and Animo in the Guineas, and that was a massive run. And I guess, stepping out to the Derby, he only bet Allegron, so it wasn't like it was a vintage win there. You're shaking your head there, Walt.
No, it's just him. Yeah, it's just all that, like all this 2-year-old, 3-year-old form. It's like you're trying to line them up because who to beat every start? They're all just camels. It's just bloody so hard to line them
The
up.
worst form there is his 3-year-old 2,500 metre form. I mean,
Well,
why
that horse won at Kembla the other day. I think it went to like a Class 1. Was it a Class 1? The thing that Nash rode or something, and it was coming out of the Derby. And like you just, it got beat a fair way, but that's how far back in grade some of these horses have got to go to get a win.
I'm sorry, Mick Price, just on that scoop before you move on. Mick Price Mick Price spoke a lot this week, saw him on plenty of things because he's got the Blue Diamond favourite, but when he speaks, you listen, he speaks so much sense. He said, why the hell are we stretching these 3-year-olds out to 2,500 and really gutting them and early in their careers and early in their, in whatnot. So again, another one to bring that Derby back to 2,000.
Oh, well, I think Racing New South Wales have already solved the problem. They've thrown more money at the Spring Champion, and the Derby sort of sits where it sits now, and it's problem solved. So Mick doesn't have to worry about that.
Owners and trainers are trying to get them up to run in those races to run 3rd and 4th and sell them for $2 million to Hong Kong anyway. So it's just everyone's got their own agenda, and no one's really caring about racing them on or anything like that. I don't think so. Mick Price is probably alone in his thought of, or like maybe 2,500 back to 2,000 doesn't really matter to what price they get when they sell them or prize money. So that wouldn't hurt. But no one's really concerned about racing or long-term effects to fields or horses, I don't think, really deep down.
Another one that caught my eye was Barbarator. The market was more so the market. They absolutely hammered this horse. They just absolutely knew Barbarator in the Vanity last week, 1,400 first up. Thoughts, Nico, there?
Similar to Argentia, had a fair bit of improvement to come. So I think what she does off that, she'll only improve off. She didn't beat much. Like that was sort of midweek form, Ancient Girl and Cardigan Queen, but
Cardigan Queen. You remember, Cardigan Queen, they're in a, 1,000 metre maiden at Warrnambool. We unloaded on it in the Bulldozer Stream this year. Found a way to get beat there. It is about 4 starts later, stakes placed behind Barbara. Like, spare me, please. But anyway, carry on, Liz.
Yeah, it looks a 2,000 metre horse, Barbara. So I'd be waiting till she gets that trip to sort of back her to beat some of the better Sydney fillies, which may be the path she takes.
Yeah, I would have thought. So speaking of live streams and Punters Club, we're going to do a little bit of a silent Punters Club on Saturday. You've heard of a silent disco, Walt? That'd be right up your alley.
I'm not really.
You play your own music, you're in your own headspace.
Mate, I was talking in my sleep, so silent anything is not really my speciality.
Right, so what we're going to do is, for Magic Millions Day, we had a little bit of problems with the banking app. They've since been fixed. We've fixed the sound notifications on the app, so we're just going to do a silent Punters Club. So after the show, make sure you jump onto Little Birdie TV, you download the app if you want to follow the tips, but you just go into the live stream promotions area on the TopSport account. You can deposit anywhere between $50, to $1,000, and we'll close the bank on midday on Blue Diamond Day. So you'll just get a compilation of, I guess, our best bets. We'll talk some strategy. Might have a couple of Hail Mary multis to try and get a big return. So not sure where the bank's going to land, but it's more so just to test drive the app and make sure it's all working your end. So no live stream, but a Punters Club for Blue Diamond Day. So it's going to be a ripper. So check out Little Birdie TV. Their website and all over our social channels, and we'll even do a little 5-minute tutorial on how to get set for that one. So make sure you tune into that for the next couple of days. So if you want to follow all our action on Saturday, we're definitely taking the app for a test run. So I've done a little quiet one myself, and it looks like it's absolutely Mickey Mouse. So everything's balancing correctly, so there'll be no dramas. So we'll bet from about midday through till 6 p.m. on Saturday, and then all the money will just go back into your TopSport account. We're with TopSport because they take the big bets, and from an AML perspective too, so we can't just sit there and pick off all the bookies, but we're happy to bet with TopSport as they give us a fair crack at it. So big one on Saturday for the silent Punters Club on Saturday. It's going to be a ripper, and check out our Discord chat or the YouTube. Actually, we won't have YouTube, so check out our Discord channel if you want to talk about what's happening in the Punters Club there. On today's show, Nico Noonan's going to have a look at the Blue Diamond and Oakleigh Plate. Beat the Bagman is back. Race 3 and Race 7 he's going to preview there. And as Walt alluded to, SA, the wheels are starting to fall off, aren't they? T. McAvoy signalled he's leaving.
The last actual race I watched there, well, that's got to be 3 years ago. Shame. It's a shame. I used to love Adelaide races. I don't know if they still do very often anymore.
So a couple of issues popping up in Adelaide. Mug Punter, he's still on holiday. He looks $1 million. We've seen his little sneak preview. He got Darjeeling beat. Yes, but Mug, I tell you what, Mug's got 70 kilos and he's just like pulling it straight back.
So, and I can't wait to find out what he's back because, anyway.
He put a poll up yesterday whether he'd do a Melbourne set or a Sydney set, but he was allowing for a cancelled meeting. So he was adamant that he'd get a tip out there. So he's done Melbourne and Sydney, which is treacherous, I would have thought. You got to stay in your lane, don't you?
Get a jigsaw puzzle and do that instead, honestly. But anyway.
TopSport Steamers are due for a couple of winners, and up first, it's Walt, but Manscaped are our new sponsor. I haven't got the weed whacker here. I haven't got any product just on show, but it's really good to launch.
He's on if you want me to whip him off.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got him.
You do, yeah? So with the pack, you get a free Manscaped jocks. There, Walt's got them on. The last time you took your pants off, you back to winner in the stream.
I got back a winner. I haven't had my pants off since. That's why I still got them on.
Oh, you were pretty good with Marzu last week. Gee, he ran straight. It panned out perfectly. I don't know what they were doing on Abel Willie. Everyone knew the inside was off, and then you've got Marzu in the plum spot.
I don't know what they were doing back in Abel Willie. I had good judges trying to tell me he should have been odds on. He's a Group 1 horse, and it was a bit of a weird steer, but he was always the one that was going to be out the back compared to the rest. And really, like as you said, it worked out well for Marzu and Zapateo, but if anything, it should have helped him as well, and he was just whacking behind him. So another Waller second up whacker.
He did look one out of the box, but different horse now, Marzu. He's got the plums out. All right, let's have a look at Randwick this Saturday. Race 2, if they go ahead, I'm sure they will. PVL will find a way. The Midway Handicap. The Midway's got a sponsor. There's no real sponsor here.
Oh, mate, Midway should be sponsored by Tuesdays at Quirindi because that's where they should be on at. But this one, as I said, this whole meeting is diabolical. So I just kept coming back to this one as some sort of an angle. But with reservations. I'm putting it out there very early, reservations.
Your Bryce Hayes up and about. Key Largo, J-Mac on $3.80 favourite here. Delexo is $4.60. Mayrose $5. Delat, or whatever it's called, $11. Switched. Esteem Lady $13, and Epic Dan $15. The replay we're going to have a look at here is Mayrose at
Ring a Rosie on the rail,
sitting second
2.5,
last here
Mayrose,
with the yellow
and
cap
last
with
is
Jay
3.
Collett steering. Walt, take us
So
away.
they did go a little bit quick here, not crazy, but always good to see these horses sort of defying the pattern at Canterbury and running on from back at the field. So did get off the bit a bit early, but tacks on here, gets to the middle, and really strong late, which is the key to its chances on Saturday. I was, Key Largo, and this is the two horses that I think will be closing. Key Largo's 42 days between runs. This horse is just off a more traditional prep, and 12.50 back to 12. My issue is an inside draw for Jay Collett, and if he goes looking towards the inside, you could be heading for the gap. But I think that this horse should be strongest late, and the other horse there, that Delexo, is J-Mac off, James Innes Jr. on, with 60.5. It's one of the weirdest rider changes I've ever seen. I know J-Mac goes on to Bryce's horse, but I don't know if that was a plan. Maybe it was because, Bryce does target these midway, so maybe he had James booked nice and early. If it wasn't 42 days between runs, I'd be really keen on Key Largo. It's just that 7 weeks or 6 weeks and no trial or whatever it is. So, but I think they're the two main players, whereas Delexo's got to go up to up in trip and 60.5 and Jimmy Innes. So I'd be keen to play around it and maybe back Mayrose and save on Key Largo, even though it's a nightmare of a horse to follow.
Your horses always go off, so Mayrose $5.
I don't think it'll go off. I think just a horse with its
get back.
Get back. I don't think it'll go off. I don't think there's any big mistake in the market or anything this week. It's just a bloody hard meeting where you can pick holes in just about every horse and, inside out. So there's the way this track's going to play. I was trying to find Brutality and horses around like Ellsberg's race. Looks like it's a false favourite. Quantico looks like it should be 25 to 1. It's $3.60, but it's hard to find a horse that's set up to win. You're coming back to horses like Superium who can't run the trip, hate wet tracks, and you're trying to entertain them still winning. So it's a tough day at Randwick on Saturday for mine.
Very Elegant's an interesting one. She's 280. Colette. Every time you hear the rain coming, I think of Colette. I thought her run was really good last start. Think it over. PR'd last time.
Colette, like before the prices came out, was a nice play, but not the horse you want to hang your hat on either. Like it's a bit of a sucky horse too, but nice draw, wet track. You'd expect Very Elegance having another barrier trial. It might win, but I don't think they care either way. She's like a mare that's done a job, and they've got bigger fish to fry down the line. And your pin-up horse, Think It Over, will be there again. He'll be in the right spot. Just whether the super heavy track ties him down a bit. He's a big boy.
And then Espiona and Fangirl.
Yeah, that's another race where I just it's very hard to line it up, especially with the heavy track. They'll just be whacking. It's just hard to get excited about these races. They're going to be good spectacles, but I don't think from a betting perspective there's too many angles. I'd rather muck around with horses like Heresy, and there was another horse at 25 to 1 in that race that appeals. I'd rather be specking those at big odds than charging into short odds on this track.
Never Been Kissed or something like that. Yearning.
No.
4 moves ahead. Hinged.
Keep going.
Zuzarella.
No.
Star Tontos.
Yeah, Star Tontos maybe 25 to 1. I thought he wasn't silly, but Heresy's the horse I'm probably most interested in at big price.
Big punter owners going down to watch it, so that could be a nice little angle. But Star Tontos first up. Didn't do enough for me, but any thoughts?
Ran the other day, since, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was okay. Yep. Nico or DK, any Sydney questions for Walt? Any short balls?
No, I've actually chimed into Mayrose. I got her beat twice at Goulburn at the start of the campaign. She's had 3 runs since. She was 30s into 14s in a group race, and she's won the other 2. So my patience is wearing a bit thin with her, but obviously since I've dropped off, she's gone to a new level. But yeah, like Walt said, the heavy track in Sydney, that's just it's going to make it tricky for a few races. I did look at the 2-year-old races, actually. I thought Al Padrino was a bit of a false favourite in the Skyline. I reckon Sandpaper and Rise of the Masses might be the horses there.
Dead set reckon nothing can win that race. That is going to be a hard race. I wanted to find Timmy's in that race, but it's drawn 1. I'm like sitting the thing, draw 27, draw 20, draw 1, like, of all things. But he just looks like a bit of a bulldog. And Sandpaper a bit the same way. If they went another 50 yards the other day, he would have fought back and beat that horse. So, I can't knock it. It's a bit of a tough one. The two, everything. Coolangatta again. What, you nearly scratch it, wouldn't you? Like, you're going to run on a heavy 20. The poor bugger's been up since bloody Christ was playing for bloody whatever, but it's just, anyway.
There's a fair bit going on in Walt's Scone, so if you want access to that, make sure you go to racingwatch.com.au and you can subscribe to his Discord channel. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of blokes with head noise in it, and I love it. If you love racing, get in there and start chatting. Just so diverse. You're talking.
Would I be the maddest person in there?
No.
Yeah.
Which is a big concern.
Yeah.
They talk about 10-pin bowling, pro build, the collapse of that.
Crypto. We've got the crypto channel where you've got no idea what's going on in there.
The golf's pretty good.
Tennis,
there's a fair bit doing with Phil Mickelson's, the Rev. There's everything, and it's
Dubai World Tour.
It's very entertaining chat. So make sure you check out racingwatch.com.au. But that's our rations of Walt stuff. But he only picks one race. But as you can see, for the last couple of weeks, Marzu was a great tip, and so was Snap Dancer. So he's probably leading our Brownlow. He's taken over from Shane Adair at the moment for this season. He's the front runner, although Nico's going all right. He had Crystal Pegasus last week. Anyway, we'll take a break and we'll put Shane Adair under the gorilla, the poor bugger. He's got to fly the flag for SA.
Good luck.
Welcome back to Bet Doctor, Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm joined by Walt. We're up at the Gold Coast, wet and wild here. And in studio in Melbourne's DK and Nico Noonan. But it's time to talk Adelaide racing with Beat the Bag and Shane Adair.
G'day, guys. Nice to be back on. I'm angry this week, Scoot. Very, very angry. If you've read my Twitter feed, I'm peaking at a 12 out of 10 at the moment. As you can see, my acting's not that good. Anger's doesn't sit with me that well, but I'm trying to be angry, Scoot.
You haven't got the DK purple colouring going, so you can't be completely atomic just yet. Atomic.
Be true.
Just are you still in Adelaide, baby? Because I tell you what, last of the Mohicans, I think you and JJ with his little farm out there, and Mr. Kelton with his fish and chip shop, you guys will be the last men standing there. I tell you what, everyone's just fleeing. Jamie Carr left, the Jumps left Oakbank, McAvoy's gone to Ballarat. He's leaving Berend Vorster, I hear, but is Kayla Crowther staying? Is Will Clark must be next to go. He's travelling horses to Dubai. Can't be long before he leaves. What's going on over there in Adelaide?
It's a bit grim reading at the moment, isn't it? If you're on the outside looking in. Look, I guess the McAvoy news was sort of on the cards. He was already a foot in Ballarat. It makes perfect business sense for him to be based out of Victoria now. We don't race for enough prize money, unfortunately, for those sort of big operations. But something needs to be done. I think that point of consumption tax is high on the agenda of most SA racing fans, and that needs to be changed. We need to get more funds back in the industry.
Well, so you should. It was the rotten SA. Well, careful what I say. It was the South Australian Treasurer who created the rotten point of consumption tax, and then hasn't tipped hardly a coin of it back into the South Australian racing industry. It's an absolute disgrace. So anyway, you're spot on there, Bagman. I can see why you're pissed off.
So I don't understand how the government expect racing to grow. So they're the highest tax jurisdiction, or equal highest, and they give the least amount back. So if you've got like a golden goose, surely you want to just keep pumping it. Walt, come on, say something. You're just about to explode here.
South Australia's outside of my jurisdiction. They're the only ones I haven't pissed off. So, I just try and stay sweet there. I think they're doing a great job. The whole industry's collapsing around them. They're not tipping any money into it. And, long may they reign. They're doing a great job.
Fix this. Is it a Nick Redden problem? They got to lobby government better. I remember 10 or 12 years ago when I started out in the Darwin days of the corporate bookies, the hardest place for us to market to customers was SA, and I think it still is now, and I think New South Wales have maybe joined them and clamped down, but to grow your customer base in Adelaide used to be diabolical, and I guess it still is, but the corporate bookie boom has gone on for, say, 10 or 12 years, and SA have missed all that opportunity. They were just handcuffed. We couldn't market to customers properly, and SA people, do they actually like racing, Bagman?
Well, it's hard to get these people back once they're lost to the sport, as you well know. Your owners want to see their horses race in South Australia. South Australia's turned into a little bit of a dumping ground now for horses. Our standard of Saturday races have really dropped. We have quite a few benchmark 60s, even a maiden on a Saturday now. This was unheard of when I was a kid, to have these sort of low-class races Now, if any horse has ability, they get up to a benchmark 75, 80 very quickly, and then we don't see him again. So they head off to Victoria, and that's understandable as well. The owners need to pay the bills. It's an expensive industry, as you well know. Training is not any cheaper. So they need to find winners. They need to get where the prize money is. It's not in South Australia at the moment. As you touched on that point of consumption tax, so Tasmania get more funding from their government than South Australia does yearly. So just let that ring out to their listeners. It's a sad state of affairs. It's not a Liberal Labor bashing thing. It's an SA government thing. Something needs to change, and needs to change quickly, because this next 5 to 10 years will basically decide whether sport's heading down the tubes like harness racing in this state, or can it actually prosper. We've got quite a few trainers in this state who are under that 45 sort of banner. We've got Michael Hickmont, Will Clarkin, Brian Balfour, Travis Dowdle, just to name a few. These trainers need to be locked in. They need to be sought out about what they want going forward, so they don't leave, and we can really grow that training base for the next 20 to 30 years.
Some really good punters out of SA. There's heaps, and there's super
great too. Jesus Christ! Back in the day, was same when I was at Bet Easy. Holy hell!
Yeah. And it's sad to see, but hopefully they can turn it around. And I think they just need to get some of that POC tax on. You just can't take. And here's an example. Like we've got this, we got a jumper, Britannicus, obviously, and the Lord Ream Stakes here. I think Nico pointed it out. You got a Group 3 over 2,600 metres. I know you're going to get a bit of. It's never going to be a classy affair, but you've got Hastler War, Werthenheimer, Sabene, Camford, Epidurement, Centelmo Fuego. I think Britannicus, who's a hurdler, he'd be the 5th highest rated horse in a Group 3 over 2,600 metres. Like, it's just insanity.
It's everywhere, right? Like racing across the board now. It's just the quality, the breed is dying, like it really is, and it starts at the 2-year-old sales. Everyone targeting these 2-year-olds. We're selling off the best of the best. You got Japan does the opposite. We're talking about they buy the best, won't let you get near anything of any quality to take it out of the country, whereas we just say,
here it is.
Come buy our farms, come buy our horses, come buy whatever we want, and then we have a whinge that we've got nothing left.
You're looking too, Scoot, at that prize money of that Group 3 race. The winner of that will take home a bit over 60,000 to the winner there. They'll get more running around just on a Saturday at Caulfield or Flemington. Why would a Kieran Maher, etc., bring their stayers here? There's just no point.
And destroy their rating in the process.
They smash their rating.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So it's the only benefit is maybe some black tie up in the stud book. So therein lies probably the problem. All right, let's have a look at Morphettville. We'll try and be a little bit positive back on. Race 3, the Zilzie Wines Handicap, one of DK's drops, no doubt. The Sharwin is the favourite here. Sorry, Sharwin, $2.80 in from $3.20. Manhattan Times $3.70. Angel Like $4.60 out to 5. Sameson is $12, and then you got Residue $13 and Street Swagger $14. Going to have a look at the replay of Angel Like in the Clarkin colours here. Take us away, Bateman.
This is Angel Like's last start. It was at Moonee Valley. If you're angry now and you backed Angel Like this night, you'll be even angrier again, because this was probably an absolute certainty beaten. Heavily backed. Saw daylight a little bit too late. Rockets to the line. A moral beaten. I think today's race at Morphettville will get a beautiful run just behind the speed. I think Sharwin, who's also got a nomination for Ballarat on Sunday, so we'll see where that ends up lobbing, is obviously the clear danger. But I had Sharwin and Angel Like, not much between them in the my markets, so there's a little bit of value there currently. I think the claim for Ben Price will also be a big aid, gets in well, and as DK says, Bagman only comes on here to pick Will Clark and runners, so I think I found another one for our loyal followers.
I see some people will be a bit worried. 9:55 start up to 1,200 metres, but it's already boasted win over 1,200. It's had 2,000 metre runs, 9:55. So
I thought looking at that, that's the query for me. The end of a strong 1,200. So that 1,200 at 1 was out of a chute and was on empty at the end. But it's just the way they mix distances. 1,200 up, back to 9:55, back up to 1,200. It's just, but they do it a lot in South Australia. I know they do it more than I notice in other jurisdictions.
As well.
In Perth,
Perth's a very similar jurisdiction, and you see horses are 1,800 back to 1,400, 1,000 metre form to 1,200, and the market just absolutely loves them. So
Yeah,
They're just completely different ball games, like to Victoria when you're doing form. I suppose everywhere's different, but I found, like, looking at some Perth races, my brother Trav does a lot of form in Perth. Like, even he said to me, like, the difference in just how they prepare their horses. Like, they can go 12 to 1600 and they don't care. Like, it's very strange.
If anyone can get a horse to jump in trip, it's got to be Clarkin, isn't it? Clarkin can get him to run through the wall. So why would he not be? 245 metres is not going to stop him.
What did you say, Bagman?
I think that's what Nico was saying too about the horses needing jumping up in trip, is that it's their limited opportunities as well with races and classes here in South Australia. They're no good to them sitting in the paddock. So if they're fit and ready to run and that's close enough, we roll.
Yeah, well, that's like in Victoria. You can accept in pretty much the similar sort of race, 1,300, 1,200 metre BM64, and you've got about 4 cracks at it. Pakenham, Ballarat, Bendigo, Moonee Valley.
It obviously loves the 955 at Moonee Valley. It's just had no luck, you know. So there's only a few of them. Well, actually, the final's coming up soon, isn't it? So
we love bringing up bad beats on this show, just reliving our pain after last start.
You got to embrace the pain as a punter. Burgers are better over in SA. They got better chalky milk. They got the pie floater. What's the most popular burger joint over there, Bagman?
The way we're travelling, mate, it'll be probably McDonald's, mate. Plenty of gourmet burgers here for you, Ski. You'll go right on the tooth. You have to bring the mug over with you, mate, and have a hamburger tour of South Australia.
We might have to ask Will Clarkin. All right, let's have a look at Morphettville Race 7 here. This is the next to Bagman's, and it's Spin the Reward that's come up favourite here, 440. Japery is 6.50 into 5.50. Spark up. So Walt needs to do $6.50. Field of Roses, $8. Struck by. Feels like we've backed this horse before. $8. Cool Magnum, $9.50. Young Jimmy, $9.50. And Cafe Rizzo's out at $18. And it's Japery, the horse that we're going to have a look at here in the blue with the white star and red cap from the Paddy Payne stable. Outside leader.
Yeah, this is Japery's last run. As you said, it was on the Parks track. They went hard in this race, and Japery was sitting outside the speed. You'll notice in the white there, Fulton Street knocks up quite badly. But Japery kicked strongly, only run down late by Night Passage. We've seen Night Passage win again from this start. This was a benchmark 82 this day. Drops now down to a benchmark 68. So we get Angus Wang Chung get the 3 kilo off. So he gets him very well at the weights. You go back through Japery's form there. There's solid runs behind him. I'm Thunderstruck. That's more than capable of winning this event. I think he'll get a nice one just behind the speed, and will be very, very hard to beat, and looks one of the best each-way bets on the program.
Tell us a bit more about Angus Chung there, Bagman. I've just had a look at his stats and things this morning when you're tipping this horse, and he's going good. I don't know much about him. 3 kilo kid. He's 6th on the premiership. His strike rate's good. His ROI is good. So he's obviously goes good at the caper.
Yeah, certainly does. He's definitely developing week by week. He's definitely getting better opportunities. Trainers are definitely recognising that. And look, if Paddy Payne's happy enough to put him on, I'm happy enough to support Paddy in that position. He rode Japery well last start. It was just unlucky that he just cooked a little bit too early with Fulton Street out inside of him. Night Passage got the job there done, but I think you won't have to think too hard from barrier 1. Jump it out and just sit behind the speed and hopefully pop out and get the cash.
And how's Jay Huxtable? How's he recovered?
Yeah, what an incident that was. Just leave it to Glenn Boss, mate. Just leave it to Bossy.
Stood high in the irons and saluted after winning the Kangaroo Island Cup and came off, hit the deck 10 metres later. That was good.
What did he get? Have they pinged him yet?
He's probably still getting it off.
He got a few weeks.
He got a few
weeks for that.
3 weeks, I think.
He was fine. He got up and walked off. I think ego might have been dented a little bit, I think, there for Justin. But yeah, I think just leave it to Bossy or Brendan Abdullah. I think he might have the king of salutes after winning the Oaks.
You don't salute on when the home turns 37 metres after winning.
My DMs just lit up like a Christmas tree with that video.
I was trying to make sure before I sent the video that he wasn't dead. That was what I was worried about, that he hadn't hurt himself. That I was like, my God, because I was watching something out wide, maybe a bit of Dubbo or something, and noticed him cartwheeling.
He went up with the big salute, and I thought, oh, well, that's what the video. Oh, have a look at this guy. He's just gone over the top with salute. And I thought that's what I was watching for. And then next thing you know, he's on the deck.
And it looked like it didn't look good either.
No, it looked real bad. They do. They can look bad. But Angus Chung, I'll tell you what, he's put me in the cupboard many times. I bet a lot in Adelaide.
I swear to God, I've never heard of him.
I know. The look on your face, you're like, who is this guy? And I'm like, For me, it was just like instant pay. He just bobs up, and he can bob up on a roughie too. He can find the front and just not stop. And obviously 3 kilo claimants. I guess what the traders are trying to do.
What I did see, I think if anyone's either, I think it's David Bagman might be able to confirm this, but it's either David Jolly or Richard Jolly. He's 6 from 12 for one of those trainers. 6 from 12. There's a wheelhouse there, so someone's using him very effectively.
Yeah, steady stuff. All right, I think we've beaten up Bagman and SA Racing enough for today, and fingers crossed these horses can run a little bit straighter than last week. Fonselet was a bit disappointing, heavily backed. Not much in the stewards report, but no surprise, I suppose. It was like I don't know. I can't say anything. I'll probably get in trouble too. But I was a little bit underwhelmed with the stewards report. I thought they might have gone digging deeper, but maybe I just overbet the horse. But thanks, Bagman. You've done all right there.
Yeah, hopefully they can run a little bit better than Fonselet last week. It was a little bit disappointing, and hopefully we can get this POC tax changed by next week when I come on, so I can spruik some positive messages.
I would have thought so. Yeah, we might have to have a rally or a protest. They're working in some jurisdictions, but that was Beat the Bagman, and hopefully we've got a couple of winners there for you. Puntingform.com.au. If the stewards don't have the answers, puntingform.com.au can help you with their sectional times and their benchmarks. Nico's a big disciple of it, and you hear guys like Nick Ashman and other guys on racing.com talk about these par times. You can get your head around it too. It's very simple with puntingform.com.au. Really easy. Just log in. It all lives in the cloud, and it's been a game changer for me. So you can get track bias, lanes, all that sort of stuff. It's great stuff. All right. We'll take actually, no, let's just keep going. We'll just chime straight into Caulfield and have a look at the Blue Diamond. But a little hat tip, Crystal Pegasus last week. DK, you gave it the press off the wireless too. J-Mac got on radio and spout it. So it was a nice little start for the bet Dr. Follows, Crystal Pegasus. Even Walt's nodding, so maybe he had a shekel or two on it. Question for the panel, though, just off the back of that. I'll go you first, Walt, just to get us off on a real positive note. How much racing media do you consume? So I guess like shows on Sky.com, RSN. So I guess sometimes you're forced to listen to it.
Sky's finished.
Sky, no good, no volume. No sound
finished.
except for the races.
It's just finished. It's gone. It's just there's no. You can only turn it on. You got to try and time it right when they stop talking and the race caller kicks in and you want to listen to the race. Otherwise, you get fried. Like anyway, and then after the race, they're even worse because they find every one of those boys. They've all been trained by Gator. That I've got 1, 2, 6, 8, and 5 here, and then it comes in 9, 10, 11. He goes, yeah, but the obvious were 9, 10, 11. You know, you just
.com. Yeah, watch Get On or any of the .com shows.
I don't. Well, I'm not. Yeah, there's so much product in New South Wales. I don't. I'm a bad so I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to a little bit of Twitter, and if I want to find out about a horse, I'm more chance to search.
Yeah.
For if there's anything been around than to listen.
DK?
Yeah, I'm more towards self-interest. So anything that I think something about maidens is going to be mentioned, I'm not really much into the other narrative and all that, and I don't have time these days. I mean, my time. I wish I had the Tinder swindler's time management skills, fair dinkum, because I mean he was just great one at it. But I've got kids in things every 5 nights a week and things like that. So I'd love to sit there and watch Get On and the boys and TB and Dr. Turf and that last night, but I don't have time. So I'll watch while I'm sitting on the couch or everyone else is watching Survivor on the phone. I'll watch the Troll Show because I know Matty Welsh, a lot of up and coming horses. So I watch that on .com, and also Sectional Stars. If Larry throws up a few, can go around the grounds and find the through out wide and the maidens. Just so I just want to see what people think and what people are doing, and just for my own sort of thing. But I'm a bit time poor now. But those sort of things that could affect my self interest. Nico, what about you?
I consume a fair bit. Autumn Contenders or Spring Contenders, the show that was on last night. That's a good show with Benny.
It's got TB. It's got TB.
Welsh,
Dr. Turf. They've got a good crew doing that.
That's I usually always listen to that before doing this show or doing other podcasts. So always like to get sort of their thoughts, especially Benny. He's a Jet, so it's probably one of them. The Rant, I usually listen to a lot of their stuff, especially on the Saturdays and their review stuff out of Sydney. And then, apart from that, that's about it, really.
Mm. About you, Scooty?
I just put myself through the torture of Saturday mornings with, I guess, some Sky Central, just sort of laugh at what everyone's wearing and talking about. And some .com shows, some of their, I guess, their magazine shows like you Get On, and I just have that in the background when I'm sort of mucking around on a Saturday morning. RSN don't listen to any of that, and I seem Daniel O'Sullivan sat with us one day on a Melbourne Cup table, and he gave me a little bit of a pearl away, and he only watches it to know when horses are going off and who's tipping, and if he likes a horse, he'll want to know if someone else has found it to know when to bet. So I think that's probably the best tool if you're going to watch the show. Well, that's what I take out of it. I don't really want them to tell me what to choose and like and pick, but if a horse is going off, I sort of want to know why, and that's how I look. I try and gather that information. But no, like I'm very haphazard. Don't really consume any shows. The Racing Rant's a great show. Started to tune into some of Walt's business, and Nico's podcasts are really good. But yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in it, and I guess I'm just a bit tied up with Little Birdie stuff. But yeah, I used to like RSN when Shane Anderson was on it, but for that little hour show. But yeah, I've sort of dropped real on the wayside with all that sort of stuff.
Big,
but
who knows what's going to go on there? I mean, they're all just waiting for the tap on the shoulder or the called into the office, all the RSN people, because just, what's going to happen,
The merger.
Yeah, well, they've been bought out. They're like, it's just, what are Racing.com going to do with them? They're going to shut them down or give the talent more jobs or keep it going or do something. So anyway, watch this space.
Yeah, who knows? All right. I thought that was an interesting little question given DK had the wireless on. I thought, how much RSN does DK actually listen to? But Blue Diamond Stakes is the feature race here at Caulfield on Saturday, and it's Jack and O remaining favourite there at TopSport, $5, Revolutionary Miss. Interesting go yesterday, $8 into $5.50. There's a couple little moves, and then the market sort of corrected itself a little bit. Lofty Striker Drifter, $6 out to $7. Sebenak was a bit of a sneaky go too. It was $8.50 to $9 into $5.50, and then it's popped back out to $7. Miss Rosiano is $11. Tommy Afey's 19 into $16 at a lightly raced C-Mar setup job. Dormier is 14 out to $17, and English Riviera is 14 to $20. Waltz on buys on the quick back up here, 21 out to 26 into $20, and then Count to Headlights is 15 out to $21, and I won't bother the rest. Nico, you've asked us to have a look at both of the preloads. Let's have a look at the fillies first. Last 400 here. We've got English Riviera leading, and then Revolutionary Miss in the red.
Storming down the middle in the red. We're on Revolutionary Miss this day from the yard. Definitely think she's the best of the fillies. Coming down the middle, she's probably going to get a similar run in transit, I think, in the Diamond, where she's got to be strong late. The key to the fillies, I think, is these two inside her, the on-speed runners, Miss Rosiana, English Riviera. They could set up quite a fast tempo if they want to here. They went pretty quick in this race, so I would imagine out to 1,200, they're both going to be pushing the agenda, even though the stable have kind of come out and said they might take a sit on both, so maybe that leaves Similian kind of coming across. There is a bit of news around the Blue Diamond DK that would just sort of break.
Yeah, you just showed me, vet inspections.
Lofty Strike has been inspected this morning with a bit of lameness, and he's been 5s out to 7s already ever since yesterday, so maybe the market caught onto that a bit earlier, but so there's always a bit happening. Enthar was the same last year. She had lameness leading in, so...
So was he get inspected again tomorrow, I suppose? Is it Friday?
Yeah, Friday,
make a call Friday. Mm-hmm.
So plenty happening there.
Horses on speed there. English Riviera.
Moral.
Well, wins the race.
If unless it's a swoopy again, I don't know how they can how you could back Revolutionary to beat it. But that's just my humble opinion, especially when you're getting 15s one and 6s the other. But these dirty friggin' lob out the back, hard on speed, had run on condition, back markers all up the front of the market. Surely there's a gap there. Like Sebenak's a bit different. It's probably the one that's got upside, but it's got to do, isn't it, the 1,000 to 12? It's one of those ones that's got to do the jump.
I thought it might have been a little bit of a barrier trial for Sebenak last time. We haven't got his replay, and I was just looking for a bit of DF, and I thought he was still really strong through the line, Sebenak, and I think he can actually sit close. I would have liked it.
He's the one out of the ones in the market.
Yeah.
Can sit close.
Can sit closer, so he's going 1,000 metres to that. So if it was a barrier trial, and he's since had a jump out, Nico tells me, Sebenak, and was meant to go, I'll let him talk about that. But usually if they've had a jump out or a barrier trial in between, it tells me that the horse has come through the last start enormously well, and they just needed to punch the work into him. It's a big positive.
Because it's either cleaned him out, they've needed it, and then they've cleaned him out at the jump out, or it's like a trial in Sydney, and we don't get to see the jump outs. But,
Nico?
Yeah, it's a real positive.
Yeah, jump out was good. Probably the best piece of work that he's done. I'm on him at a much longer price. I don't know if I could chime in at 7s for Sebenak, given his 1,000 out to 1,200, and I think he beat the real C team there in the Chairman's, but he does have a lot of upside compared to a few of them who have been around there and sort of done it like Revolutionary Miss and all that. But he's definitely probably a map horse. If we could have a look at the boys' prelude now, I think this is probably the most key form reference in terms of replay point of view. Jacquino out the back. You got Similion kind of blending in, Lofty Strike down the middle. I think Jacquino probably goes very close to winning this race if he jumps with him and goes around him. He had no luck. He's the strongest through the line. The horse I want to take out of this replay is probably Dormier. When the tempo came out of the race between sort of the 8 and the 600, he got it a bit wrong. He gets the blinkers on here Saturday. He gets the absolute run of the race. Like Team Friedman, they've won 2 of the last 3 Blue Diamonds, and they finished second with Hanseatic in the other, so they know the right horse to sort of prepare. He gets the blinkers on. Barrier number 5, Mark Zara, in the worst ground there. Looks like a horse is going to be suited to 1,200. I marked him second favourite, Dormier. I thought he was way over the odds at $17. Jack and I've got favourite. I think he's the best horse in the race. If he can jump better than what he did on sort of last start and he replicates what he did on debut, I think he's clear best of the back markers. Everything I've seen from him in the yard suggests he's probably the best of this lot, maturity-wise. So he's the favourite in the market. I think Dormier is a good bet at $16. I want him on side. And I think Counting the Headlights is the other improver out of that race.
Well, you're going to ask me about Counting the Headlights. Isn't it Aussie's horse?
Oh.
You're going to...
Well, what's the mail then, DK?
Yes, no. He's expecting a very forward showing. I wasn't suited back to the 1100 the other day because he was 12. He won 1200. And then he had to drop back to the 11 the other day.
Won a slow 1200, then went to a real quick 11.
11, yeah. So back up to that. He's going to be what he's going to be. He's going to be strong at the end of the 1200, which a lot of them will knock up. Jump and run 2-year-olds. They'll be, and he can sort of take a position a bit closer than a few others. So he's 20 to 1 or something. I think he said I believe he's going to run well. Yeah.
Yeah. If he's winning, I might not be here for the show next week
because you fell in last time. Didn't you?
Well, I just took a very long early price.
Right. Yeah, we're cheering hard. All right, cheering hard.
I thought he was the top seed for a while. I think the 1200 is really going to suit him. Like he was the third fastest last 200 metres of that race. Like he just hit a big flat spot between the 6
when they sprinted, which that just showed the back in distance thing.
Yeah. So I think another fast run race, just 1200.
Keep his momentum and be strong. He's going to keep finding the line.
What'd you make of Hafey?
At Bendigo?
Yeah.
He won with a leg in the air. I don't think they ran any time from memory.
No.
And it's going to be tough coming out of that into this, but you'd rather the ones already had the run at the track.
Yeah, it's a good race. I'm kind of against Lofty Strike. I think he picked up the pieces a bit there. Like he had the run of the race, a few of them in the inferior ground. I would be expecting horses like Jacquino, Dormier to turn the tables on him. It may be potentially Similion. So even with the lameness issue now, I'm probably more confident to take him on. So Jacquino on top. I think Dormier is a good bet, and Count the Headlights probably the other one I want on side.
At Sebenak, I can see why. Nico's on at 100 to 1 Sebenak. He's lost all our numbers.
It sounds like he's on about 10 of them. You've spread far and wide, haven't you, Nico?
I might be the only one on the planet on Sebenak at 100 to 1. I have one bet and it got turned off straight away.
That's it.
No gear change, Jacquino. Barrier blanket, blinkers, winkers.
It needs leg speed on.
Mm-hmm.
Like early speed on.
Well, what's the best way to get him out of the gates? What would you have done with the horse?
He's got just no speed. It doesn't matter. That horse is just and they're all drawn wide. Like they're just one-trick ponies, all those 3 favourites. You've got to be looking for holes against them, surely. Like they're all, what are they, 9, 10, 11, and they're just going to go back. No, they're going to need speed. They're going to need the right run. And they're going to need to get the outside. It's not really a setup for a grand final 2-year-old.
Well, that's what I started. I went looking for English Riviera, and then I'm like, oh, here's the horse. If they punch it out, Sebenak, that's the one that I want to be on it. And I
found the same too.
Nico, hang on, Nico, what'd you say?
I reckon it has absolutely none. English Riviera, marked at 60 to 1.
There you go. Well,
I don't reckon it'll run 1,200 at all.
Stay in your lane.
Completely empty, late.
8,000 each way, says what?
We'll win 600.
I think Sebenak is the different form that you need. No, I think Jacquino's the hardest to beat there. Any other thoughts, DK, or are you going to say something?
No. I was just wanted to get that across to Walt. That
it's a race where, like, Artorias wins last year, they go hard. Lyre sat back, won, they went hard. Tagaloa was in the right spot.
Mick Price said that. They come from, it's a midfield
Patchy
race.
Flew late to win.
I jump and run 2-year-olds, go hard early, they knock up.
Exactly.
Then the ones with the best, who's had the best runs at the middle of the field, run them over. So we'll see what happens.
I think that'll be Jacquino.
Just quietly, but they do look like they're all camels.
But you bagged every 2-year-old that stepped out.
That's pretty much. Like I spent like an hour on that race yesterday. They're all the ones that have won have all just handed the races, and the rest are all just it looks like it's going to be the charge of the Light Brigade to me.
Yeah, I could save on your horse, but I like the other two colts, Sebanyak.
Yeah, Sebanyak. Well, there's the other one I found.
But I want to Jack and a few change or just something different to get him out. Get him out.
I just wanted to find something to beat the favourite.
Get him out of the stalls. Oh, it's like me after the Melbourne trip. I just needed a bit of a barrier blanket or something to get back going. But Oakleigh Plate is a cracker. These are the races that punters loved. Handicaps, nice spread in the weights, and just go like the clappers. Marabi's the favourite here. Got the picket fence. $2.50 will stay short, I imagine, in the market. Menage, $8.50. Away game, $9. Wild Ruler. This camp likes this race. $9.50. $12 Oxley Road. Bella Nipotina, $13. Jonker, $15. He'll add some pressure to the race. Malkovic, $20. General Bow, $21. Ingratiating, $21. Zatori, $26. Streetcar Stranger, $41. And Poland, $61. Done a lot. Not a big field. Oakleigh Plates are usually jam-packed, but this is one of the smaller fields. But Marabi's the horse we're going to have a look at. Nico, take us away.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see how she gets beat. This was an enormous win in the Australia Stakes. She did beat horses that were probably there for a look around, so I think the margin's a bit flattering, but the overall time's enormous. The time she ran at Caulfield, track and trip the start prior, and what's going to be a very similar run race in the Oakleigh Plate was also enormous. Just what she does between the 4 and the 200 metre mark. She went out fast, and then she still has a turn of foot. She ran that section 3.5 lengths above on the punting form data. When horses can do that from the front, they're just extremely hard to catch, aren't they, when they can show that turn of foot off the bend? And I think she's going to do something similar there on Saturday.
Yeah, what about...
Can't get crossed.
Yeah, I was going to say
crossed.
Malkovich and Jonker and these things.
Well, I think if we go back to the Christmas Stakes, she did get crossed. She got led by Sartorial Splendour and Grandview Avenue, I'm pretty sure, and she sat third. Think similar scenario could happen here. I reckon she's fast enough to lead Malkovich and sort of Yonka. There's another one in there
coming across, probably
going to be right up there. I think she's fast enough to lead him if they want to, but I reckon it'll be more like that Christmas Stakes where she come back, she took a sit, she sort of waited for the on-speed runners to capitulate, car hit the button. She'll be out in a fair late, they'll be flying at her late. If she wins, it might only be by a half length or short half head, but I think it's going to be similar to how Pippi won her Oakleigh Plate. It's just... It's going to be heart in the mouth stuff.
Rosary beads.
Do you want to be in the DK coffin in an Oakleigh Plate?
Do
you want to be in the coffin in an Oakleigh Plate?
No, you don't.
Well, this is...
it'd be interesting whether it will be handlebars down or take the seat, because they are the instructions on Pippi. Handlebars
you would
down.
think that Bjorn, like Malkovich, he's not sending it down there to sit outside the leader.
No.
With 52.5 on it, to 52 on its back. So he's going to have a crack. I don't know about the rest. Jimmy Burt, the rest will probably take a sit, but Bjorn's is the one to me that's obvious that they think he needs to dominate to have any hope, and I'm a bit surprised it's in the race, to be honest, but I can see it having a big crack for the front.
Yeah, well, Froggy on, he's marked urgent nearly every race, isn't he? We saw yesterday him just own a race at Sandown straight to the front over 1,000. So, I think you probably will lead Marabi. I kind of mapped her third. It is a good on-paces race. I know Warren won this race coming from last, but recent years, Scheidel, Pippi, those sort of horses, they all sort of map on speed, and the backmarkers, they can catch them, but it is a tough ask, and I think it's the B graders taking on a potential A grader. She's unbeaten Marabi. She's already proven, sort of from a numbers point of view, she's up to the Wild Rulers, away games, Jonkers of the world, and I think she's going to have a head start on them, and they're going to find it very hard to run her down. I think the danger might be a stablemate. Bella Nipotina hasn't run a bad race for Mayu, so she'll be charging late at the end of 1100. Jamie Carr goes aboard there. I'll probably want something on her, but Marabi looks very hard to beat for mine.
Two horses that interested me was Zatori from the Ellerton Yard. Blinker's first time was an interesting one there. I don't mind horses up in the top of the weights for the Oakleigh Plate. And Wild Ruler's probably the other one that caught my eye. That
just looks like it's going to plop right behind them, and it's like that Snowden going well when they were going bad. First up, trialled like a rocket. It's going to improve. It's going to run your big race for mine, Wild Ruler.
Well, it's just genuine sprinting form. Nature Strip, the Inferno. Nature Strip, so it's Concord.
And it's going to
lob and the Everest.
Drawn 6 to lob 4th or whatever it is right behind him.
And you're getting sort of $9. And then a horse like Zatori, he's running big races behind. He's probably the rung below, but he's some a horse.
And going to give him a start, most likely.
Yeah, and that probably leads me back towards a horse like Wild
each
Ruler
way,
over.
Wild Ruler. Jesus, I'd be surprised if it wasn't running positively.
All right, tricky race and definitely D-Day for Marabi. It's fascinating to see what's going to happen there. All right, we'll kick clear across to Muggs Moral, still on holidays up at South West Rocks.
I've got to assume the position.
Balls of Steel.
Hi guys, Mug's moral this week. The Mug is still on holidays. He's got a couple of days ago. He's back at the office at old Australia Post. So this week, the Mug has got 2 Mug's morals this week. One for Sydney, just in case Sydney is off because we've had a shitload of rain in Sydney and there's still more to come. And one for Caulfield. The Sydney moral is race 6, number 8, Ice Bath. It ran very good last start in a stronger race in the Apollo Stakes, only getting beat 4.28 lengths to think it over. It loves a wet track. It's 1 second up. It loves the wet. Perfect barrier, average barrier, but James McDonald is on board. That is the Sydney moral. And for the Melbourne moral, the Mug likes Caulfield race 2, number 2, Flying Mascot. The Mug backed this horse last start when it's winning Morphettville at Moonee Valley. Won very good at the Valley. Then it got beat 2.25 lengths in the Group 1 race. And then last start, first up, got beat 0.1 lengths to a Group 1 winner who is now retired, Probabile. Every time Blake McDougall's on this horse, it runs a great race, good barrier, second up form, very good. So the Mug's 2 miles this week are Randwick race 6, number 8, Ice Bath, and Caulfield race 2, number 2, Flying Mascot. Good luck, guys. And what does the Mug say after when we find a winner? Go find your bookie. Good luck, and I'll be back next week hoping we have a moral 1. Good luck.
I think Mug might get on the board here. I haven't done the race in depth, but race 2, number 2, Flying Mascot, looks the better of the 2 to my eye. I think it'll be pretty hard to beat. And Nico, I think we're talking off air about Tom Dabinick. He's been going really well and just placing his horses to perfection of late.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying, Dabinick, especially in the bush. Like, he seems to be pacing his horses very well out there, and Flying Mascot's probably his banner horse at the moment. They're trying to get her into an all-star mile, I think, so I'm not sure if she made the field or not, can't remember, but big ownership team behind her, yeah, $1.85 or $1.90 around that mark. Seems about right for her. You could mark her shorter and one for the all-ups, I imagine.
Walt, dare I ask, race 6, Ice Bath, $2.30.
Well, it did stand out to me on the card as the horse that was most ridiculously priced of any horse in the meeting. But I found the right part of the track first up. Obviously, a stronger race. Had the speed on to absolutely suit it. It's going to be dead set last again here, and $2.30 doesn't excite me. But I'll be cheering it for the Mug because the Australia Post man needs a winner.
I think it might, based off what Walt just said, it might drift. So maybe don't dive into the $2.30.
It's a mudder, though, isn't it? Ice Bath, it's an absolute wet tracker. Like, that's where its best is at.
There's about 7 of them in the race, and then it's just going to be dead set last. Like, I think if McDonald wasn't riding, it'd be 4 to 1. Yeah, it's just it didn't go that good first up for mine, and then hang on, mate, you got to throw these races at me. You got to tell me what the Mug's on early. Forbidden Love on speed, going to fly. The Promising Success, really good first up. Angelica will be up there kicking. Kiku's got good for Mirror Vision. They're all good horses. It's got to run past. It's got to be 4 to 1. They can't be. I don't think it'll start favourite.
Oh, we'll see.
I dead set don't think it will start favourite. Except if McDonald is a late scratching, it won't start favourite.
Okay, so Walt's against that runner, but I think Mug might be on a winner there with Flying Mascot. That will be definitely starting favourite, and it looks perfectly placed there on first look. All right, TopSport Steamers. Let's have a look at where the money's going early, and it's the Blue Diamond, race 7, number 10, Tommy Hafey, 1,000 at $19. Aussie here probably bets a little bit bigger than there, so it wouldn't be any of his money. But
Gay's money after the training, was it? Can we work out if it was straight after football training?
Geez, he gets some mail because he's got horses at a few different camps. He'd be just the absolute mailman, Aussie.
The DK or Aussie?
No, now DK's
DK's a second-hand mailman. Yeah, I like it. He's feeding off.
Pulls up in the Lambo. DK's there. Mate, take a box of Little Birdie lagers and give them to Aussie, can you?
All right, sweet. We'll do. That's not
mid-street.
Aussie's also, is it? Is Hafey one of his?
Hafey's...
No, but he's in with the camp. Surely he gets all of them. Like, he just wouldn't just get mail about his own horses. Surely he's got mail everywhere.
Yeah,
He's got it unlimited, so they just try and... If you want to have a bet, he'd be the man. Anyway, pre-post, they've laid a big one here. Revolutionary Miss, 1,000 at 71. Whoever's got this bet, we are cheering you. That's probably... Nico's got probably 1,000 at 100 Sebenak. So He'll be drunk for a week. Caulfield race 8, number 9, Menage. This is not a bad bet. 1,000 at $9. I think it's
Drawn 1, so it's got to be going to be behind.
It'll need a little
It's going to follow the favourite all the way.
Probably a trot play. Probably wants the favourite to hold the front.
Trial well. Trial very well, Menage.
Definitely, yeah, knockout chance. I'd have it in the top 4. Gators, Scooters, top 4. Race 2, number 7 is Epic Dan, $400 at $19.
Wet tracker. That's what they're just. That's just all it is. It's probably a run short, but it's a mad wet tracker.
All right. Now, that's the end of the show. I've got to the bottom of the run sheet here. Make sure you get all over DK's sub at the moment, $29.95 a week, and then Nico Noonan's mounting yard stuff Wednesdays and Saturdays. Walt is racingwatch.com.au, and make sure you join our Silent Punters Club for Blue Diamond Stakes Day. It'll pop up on Little Birdie TV website. If you haven't downloaded the app, make sure you go to the App Store. We've got it on Apple and Android, so it's all ready to roll there. We've fixed the sound notifications, and there's a couple other bugs that we'll fix. They're minor, but we've got the banking section absolutely Mickey Mouse. So I'm going to kick off the bank with 1,000 of my own, and who knows what we're going to raise in the next 24, 48 hours, but should be a heap of fun, and it'll just be a combination of everyone's best bets for the day. We'll have a couple of multis, so if we start with a 20k bank, we'll try and get it to 50 or 100 or something like that. We'll swing pretty aggressively on Saturday, I think, and it's a really good grand final day. It's a good day to bet and have a bit of a go there. So fingers crossed, DK can find something out wide. Where are they on Saturday, DK?
Yarra Glen. So find something to jump on the bunny there. Some mad leaders track.
Nah, we'll see how we go. It's Doomben, Caulfield, Morphettville, and maybe some Ascot, bit Alice Springs.
And I've got homework. I've got to go and look Angus Chum, and I've got to go and do a silent disco. I've got big things ahead today.
And Timpin Bowling. How'd you go this week?
Mate, 6:30. We're there tonight. 3 games, hot dog, shot fries, and a Coke for $27.50. We'll be there tonight.
You must have some characters there, though. Like I would.
Jokes aside, the guy who's in my team, the mask. I didn't realise everyone's got the mask on at the moment. He looks like he's about a 60-year-old married dude. Didn't talk to me for the first 2 weeks, not a word. I'm the only bloke in his team. We're 2 out of 3 or whatever. And then we got another guy. He's brassed us after a week. 3rd week, the mask came off. He's got 2 teeth, the old mate. I'm like, holy, now he's my bestie. It took him a couple of weeks to warm up like your dog, but we're getting there.
Mate, I went out to Rabina Timpin Bowling the other night, took the kids to the arcade, and I tell you what, it was like walking onto the scene of The Big Lebowski or something like that. It was like I was in Middle America. The Timpin Bowling people, they're just, it's sort of like different. The carnies at the fair.
You get some guys there on the Thursday, they roll in with 9 balls, mate. Like it's a dead set Thursday night Spastics League, and people come in with 9 balls, like dead set, like they're coming off the PBA tour. It's too good.
Kingpin all over.
I love it.
Kingpin was a movie about these sort of characters, a 10-pin bowling movie with Woody Harrelson.
What's a bowling ball set you back? To have 9 of them.
I got free shipping. Got a bit excited away on their Amazon there a few weeks ago and bought about $1,200 worth. I think that bought me 4 bowling balls. Where's it, mate? I got that yesterday. Can you let's see? Where's my man Borko? The old that lobbed in the yesterday. Bill Murray. He's my favourite. He was out of Kingpin there with the ball with the rose inside it. I've been trying to find one. Oh yeah, I don't mind a bit of Bill Murray. He's my favourite.
Yeah, that's the homework for this week. Go find Kingpin.
Great movie.
Nico, you just give me an education of all these old classics. All right, that's a wrap from us. Make sure you join the Punters Club, get around Little Birdie TV, and hopefully we'll see you in a winner or 2 for this weekend.